In my Super Bowl deep dive, I intentionally left out ninja stars, and for a good reason. That weapon is so ridiculous, it deserved its own video. A weapon that when built around can shred through crowds and tanky enemies like they're paper, with synergies that elevate the playstyle from great to beloved by the combat initiation community. Well, it's finally today's topic on the channel. We're covering the weapon's base stats, the magnetic kunai that comes with the ninja stars, and its synergies. By the end of the video, I hope you too will see how the ninja stars can be one of the most satisfying weapons to use in the game. Let's get into the video. Ninja stars' base stats are extremely well rounded. It's as simple as that. The upgrade costs 200 ticks in the shop and requires the player to have the Super Ball. The player at most will have 15 shurikens to throw, with each one being 7% of the weapon's charge, and using a shuriken will lower the number of shurikens on hand. Throwing a shuriken will deal 100 damage, and this attack can pierce up to a whopping 10 enemies with 0 falloff. If a shuriken manages to pierce 10 enemies, that shuriken will break, dealing an extra 100 damage. Ninja stars count as a primary weapon, and with that comes the ability to lifesteal off damage. 2 HP per hit. After throwing, the weapon will be on cooldown for 0.2 seconds. If a shuriken hasn't broken yet and is still bouncing, it'll attempt to rebound back to the user's location. If the user catches the shuriken, they'll regain 7% of the weapon's charge, more or less giving the user back the shuriken. If not, it'll continue to bounce before eventually sticking into the ground. This gives ninja stars a surprisingly consistent rhythm. It excels at crowd control due to its amazing enemy piercing, and if you're catching more shurikens than you're missing, you'll have a steady amount of shurikens to throw, handing you multi-kill after multi-kill to quickly build up your style score if you bother to line up a bunch of enemies. The ninja stars don't really have any decisive enemy interactions, however it does have some damage modifiers to help it out against certain enemies. Gunmen and emerald blasters will take 140 damage per shuriken, and marks will take 150 instead of the usual 100. Not that notable, but still something to look out for if you're ever up against those enemies. However, we're forgetting the second half of the ninja stars, which greatly changes how you use them if utilized, so let's go over that too. The magnetic kunai turns the ninja stars into one of the best AoE tools in the game. Using the ninja stars alt fire will equip a magnetic kunai, which can be thrown with a main fire after equipping. This magnetic kunai will deal 200 damage if it hits an enemy. Upon a magnetic kunai being thrown, all shurikens both in the air and stuck on the surface will be drawn towards the kunai. After reaching the kunai, the shurikens will orbit around the kunai until it expires, typically 12 seconds after its use. On expiration, all shurikens will be launched away from where the kunai was, and you'll be able to throw the kunai again. An enemy killed by an orbiting shuriken will award the player with the attraptor style bonus, giving the player 20 more points than the usual kill bonus. An enemy killed by a launched shuriken after a kunai expires will award the player with the Starpnel style bonus, giving the player 70 more points than the usual kill bonus. You can also shoot the kunai with a paintball gun or its upgrades to instantly detonate the kunai. If used right, you can make your 15 shurikens a stellar area denial tool, with most fodder enemies getting shredded typically upon entering, and most tanky enemies getting taken care of after a bit of time. The kunai excels in small areas where the orbiting ninja stars will take up most of the real estate. The corridors in the red and blue bases and glass houses have to be the best example for this. It's one of the most brain-off methods of getting huge swaths of style. Just throw all your shurikens, fire the kunai near a group of enemies, and watch your score build up. If you're at this point in the video, I just want to say thanks for watching. If you like what you're seeing, feel free to leave a like on the video so more people can see it. If you want to know when more content drops, feel free to subscribe as well. It's time to talk about synergy, because this is where the weapon goes into absurd territory. There's 2 accessories that I want to go over in this section that'll elevate your ninja star gameplay even further: Skater and Lightning Rod. First off, the boring one. For 2 budget points, Skater gives you a simple 20% damage boost to your ninja stars, and before you get the upgrade, this 20% damage boost will extend to the Super Ball. Pretty good, but nothing game-changing. If you want the damage boost, equip it. If you don't, equip other stuff. However, if you do want a game changer for your ninja stars, look no further than the Lightning Rod. What it does for your ninja stars is simple. At the cost of 1 budget point, you become magnetic, making shurikens orbit around you. In return, you'll become more likely to be struck by lightning, although you only take half damage to it now, and your ninja stars break faster. This is arguably better than throwing a kunai, as you, the player, will have direct control of where the shurikens will orbit. and where they orbit is in a stationary spot, you know, unless you throw the kunai on an enemy. When paired with a certain weapon we're going over shortly, you're able to send your style into the moon, and all enemies near you into a tomb. That being said, becoming metallic has a major downside attached to it, and that's all rockets being attracted to you, making that branch of weapons pretty much useless for damage. As for obtaining these accessories, Skater is obtained from the Super Ball Pro achievement, requiring 1,000 kills from each branch of the Super Ball. Somewhat difficult, but you'll eventually get it with enough effort. Lightning Rod simply requires the Power Play achievement, which you can get from detonating any significant structure in the Doom Spires and getting 30 or more kills with it. If you want to know more about how to get the Power Play achievement, check out my Doom Spires guide after this video. If you seriously use Ninja Stars, you've probably been waiting for this section. We're going over 3 of the most well-known synergies with Ninja Stars in this section, which you're going to want to know if you want to get X ranks with this thing. Katana, Sentry, and the Timebomb. Katana. It's finally time to address the elephant in the room. You guys have noted the synergy in the comment section of any video I've made relevant enough to Ninja Stars. And don't worry, I have a lot to say about this synergy. Hitting a thrown shuriken with your sword will increase the shuriken's damage and send the shuriken in the direction where the user is aiming. The 1 FPS footage you see when I constantly redirect shurikens is not a bug, it's a feature. As you get a rebound style bonus for hitting an enemy with this, and rebound combos are a thing, you can take out swarms of enemies in seconds if you know what you're doing, and can utilize the melee shortcut keybind when throwing shurikens for absurd style. You should be glad I have sound off when recording Katana Ninja Star usage, because with sound on, you're flooded with nothing but the parry sound. You can also use the firebrand to imbue the shurikens with fire, but the katana is simply better at redirecting and parrying, so go with the katana over the firebrand. Easy to learn, hard to master, give it a try and let me know what ridiculous stuff you can pull off with it in the comments. Sentry gives a variety of stat changes to your Sentry that you may or may not want. Hitting a Sentry with a kunai will increase its damage by 50%, but make its aim worse. Enemies that move in a straight line to the Sentry will still get dispatched, no problem, but enemies like Smiths, which are more sporadic with their movement, may prove to be an issue for your Sentry if you throw your kunai on it. Oh yeah, there's also dual volatility. Throwing a kunai onto a bomb or its upgrades will cause a metal explosion when the bomb detonates, dealing double damage and increasing its explosion radius. The player will also get the dual volatility style bonus from this synergy. Good if you're bringing one of the bombs in your loadout, however, it's not something you go out of your way to get a bomb for. Of course, we have to go over what gears can elevate the Ninja Stars to. We have 2 notable gear synergies to go over in this section, which can give you some pretty good benefits when utilized right. Bloxy Cola and Witch's Brew. Bloxy Cola makes you get away with more nonsense than you think. Increased lifesteal on a weapon which you can spam is huge, especially when Ninja Stars pierce enemies. Great if you're up against a huge horde of enemies, since you can just offset whatever damage they deal to you. However, if you're looking for a gear that increases your damage output instead, look no further than Witch's Brew. Increases your fire rate and decreases your gear cooldowns at the cost of having the vision of Ignis during a Hexaria fireside.
The only image you need now is like me opening the door to a sad seal at his computer desk, and I say, "Oh, Kip, I have conceived an idea most ingenious." He's gonna kill me later.
If you're using this, always use it to a 100%. Losing out on vision doesn't matter when you're tearing through enemies with a non-stop barrage of shurikens. Bring it if you think you won't need Bloxy Cola's lifesteal. From a handful of bouncing blades to a non-stop flurry of damage, Ninja Stars can be a menace when used right. It's chaotic, satisfying, and downright addicting once you get into the rhythm. And if you've ever wanted to feel like a one-person blender in combat initiation, you just found your build. Let me know in the comments what you think about Ninja Stars. See ya.